Hi and welcome to all the viewers joining us for this pre-recorded show. We are recording early doors on Saturday morning. That's the reason I'm looking so fresh as tonight, which will be Saturday night, and then the meeting on Sunday, the 29th of October. Obviously, we'll know the results of the big game. On the line, the resident expert is Graham Hawkins. Firstly, Graham, how are you doing? And we're really looking forward to a tremendous weekend's racing. And of course, the Springboks, they take centre stage.
Yeah, they do take centre stage. And of course, we're all sitting on the edge of our seats because it's been nail-biting in the last two. The quarterfinal and the semi-final were real nail-biting affairs. And I expect no different in the final. As you say, we're recording this show on Saturday morning. So we don't know the outcome. But by the time we get to race one at Hollywoodbets Durbanville on Sunday, we'll know the outcome. And maybe that'll dictate whether Hollywoodbets is going to, in fact, run in the 8th race or not.
Yes, that's quite interesting that it is running on the same weekend. So if all celebrations go according to plan, Hollywoodbets hopefully will be taking part on Sunday. Let's get straight into the action, a 9-race program. The first race is due off at 12:40. Number 7, Major Apollo, is at 8-10, ahead of number 8, Gravity, who is 4-1. And then just having a look, 8-1 and better. Now, Graham, you've elected to make one of your better bets, the Greg Enyon-trained Major Apollo, who made the debut 19 days ago. Stayed on well in the closing stages, 22.4. And just looking at the opposition, should take some beating here.
Well, obviously, one expects him to put very confident debut. He had winning captain and Captain Cool behind him, not far behind him, to be fair, when they ran behind William West on the 10th of October. But the fact is he had them beaten and he was making his debut. So Major Apollo should improve sufficiently to certainly confirm the form with number 1, Captain Cool, and number 4, winning captain. And then there's another form line that comes under scrutiny, the form line of the 5th of September, where Casino Ace and Gravity ran, and there was nothing to choose between them on that occasion. And Casino Ace could certainly improve enough to turn the tables on Gravity. So I'm going with number 7, Major Apollo, as the logical first choice in the opener. He's probably a little skinny in the market. I think it's probably a little more open than that. I would think he might start eventually around even money, 11-10, because there will be money around for Casino Ace and Gravity. Not sure about the first timer, number 2, Gimmy's Captain. We'll have to watch the market on that. I think Captain Cool and winning captain, who's shown remarkable improvement in his last 2 starts, those need to be considered for trifectas and quartets. But it's interesting, both Richard Fourie and Muzi Yeni are riding at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Richard Fourie goes into the meeting 2 clear of Muzi Yeni, could make it 3 clear after the first race. He rides Major Apollo and Yeni rides Captain Cool. But I'm expecting Major Apollo to get follow as the favourites off to a winning start.
There we go, get some money in the bank. And just looking at the comments, number 2, Gimmy's Captain from Justin Snaith, has not galloped, shows some speed at home, if not too green, place chance. So keep an eye on number 2, Gimmy's Captain. Let's move on to race number 2. This will be the opening leg of the bipot, commencing at 13:15. The distance is 1,400 meters. Number 7, Get Impressed, they has at 5-2. However, number 1, Apache Chief, has attracted some market support down 28-10. Richard Fourie looking for the first 2 on the card. And then it's 7-2 about number 6, Speed Racer from the Brett Crawford stable. Graham, race number 2 over 1,400 meters. There's a few horses who've had their 4 or 5 runs, and then you've got like a horse like Apache Chief, who's only had the 2 runs to date, but has got the 1 draw in his favour.
Very much so. And of course, Richard Fourie, as you said, will be looking for a quick double. Eric Sands has got some nice runners on the day. Hasn't raced since finishing close up second behind Lexington Point back in August. So Apache Chief and Get Impressed, I think they both have obvious claims. I think both need to be included in the first leg of the bipot, although I'm marginally in the camp of number 1, Apache Chief. I don't think we can safely ignore the chances of number 6, Speed Racer. Certainly has to come into the reckoning, as does number 2, Go It Alone. He showed a lot of promise on his debut, Go It Alone, and then fluffed his lines behind Schleswig back in May. He hasn't raced since then, and the riding arrangements would certainly suggest that number 7, Get Impressed, is the stable preference. Two that are worth noting for trifectas and quartets. Number 3, Tsunami Warning, has found a little bit of anti-post support from long odds and should build on that debut effort. And number 5, Lord Quinn, has also got to be considered for trifectas and quartets. Was a distant fourth behind Greeting My Master last time, and before that behind Questioning. But both Questioning and Greeting My Master are running in the feature race, so they're well above average, Questioning and Greeting My Master. So there's upside for number 5, Lord Quinn. But I'm expecting the winner to come from one of numbers 1, Apache Chief, and number 7, Get Impressed. Marginal preference for number 1, Apache Chief, to get Richard Bree off to a flying start.
That'll take us on to race number 3, 1350, over the trip of 2,000 meters, where we have another odds-on favorite in the form of number 1, Fordray. This is from the Candace Bass Robinson stable for the Kaya Stables. A 1.6 million rand purchase, second on debut, and then last time out finished third. Both runs have been at Durbanville. Steps up from the 1400 to the 2000, and just looking at the pedigree, should love the distance, Graham.
No doubt about it. The half-brother to a farm, the half-brother to Rainbow Bridge, is well documented that he's got a pedigree. The run's encouraging. We must remember the Hollywoodbets track. Both those days was running very quick. We had 5 millimeters of rain on Thursday night. That might just slow the going down a little bit. I'm sure that Dean Diedrichs, the track manager, and all the trainers welcomed that 5 millimeters of rain that we had at Durbanville on Thursday night. But stepping up to 2,000 meters in this field, Fordray looks good value for 6 to 10. Again, I don't often say good value at 6 to 10, but it's really impossible to visualize him getting beat. If he gets beat, yeah, they're in a lot of trouble with number 1, Fordray, because he looks to have this race at his mercy. He's a natural bipod place accumulator banker. Epicleros, the filly, has got some form behind her name and should be involved in the chase for minor money, along with numbers 3, Weather King, who should improve, and number 8, He Knows. But I'm going to stick my neck out, Sheldon. I'd be very surprised if Fordray doesn't win, and win with a lot in hand.
There we go. So we're looking at the professional doubles. They'll be playing the first race with Major Apollo number 7 onto Fordray race 3 number 1. Those are for the big hitters. They'll be looking for the odds-on shots to come through. Now we move on to the pick 6, race number 4 over 1,600 meters. And looking at the antipose betting, number 9, Trip to Maputo, that is trading at 22 to 10. Number 6, Island Treasure, 33 to 10. And then 5 to 1 about number 7, Busy Lizzie. Graham, how do you put race number 4 into perspective? Because a horse like number 4, Dual Agent, that last run not too bad at around 7 to 1. So let's start with Dual Agent after the rest.
Yeah, look, it's a trappy class 4 handicap for the fillies and mares over 1,600 meters. Dual Agent is the 3-year-old in the race, along with the early favorite, number 9, Trip to Maputo. So you can expect a lot of improvement from Dual Agent. She is a half-sister to Rascallion, so she's certainly got the pedigree. She won second time out over 1,600 meters this distance. Would have needed the last run and can improve and must be considered a lively contender here. It's a tricky start to the pick 6. I'm margining the camp of number 6, Island Treasure. I think she'll give us a good run for our money. She's very game, she's very consistent, but you certainly can't nail your colours to the mast with number 6, Island Treasure. Healthy respect for number 4, Dual Agent, and fellow 3-year-old number 9, Trip to Maputo, won a maiden last time out, and should have plenty of scope for further improvement. You've also got to include the likes of number 5, Cloud Chaser, and number 7, Busy Lizzie, as well as respect for number 2, Miss New York. So it's not an easy start to the pick 6. I think you've got to throw them all in. It is a class 4 fillies and mares handicap, so you know what those are all about. I'm margining the camp at number 6, Island Treasure, but not with a great deal of confidence.
That'll take us on to race number 5. So progressing to the 1,250 meter race. And race number 5, the horse who has attracted the support is number 3, Montalina, the daughter of the United States from the Vaughan Marshall stable. From around about 7 to 2 down 22 to 10. Let's start with number 3, Montalina, Graham. Richard Fourie, he looks to have an awesome card on the day. And if you look at that previous run to Mears Harper, who also runs in this event, that form line's worked out exceptionally well, and then the post-maiden run not disgraced.
Very strong form lines. Number 3, Montalina, deserves to be favourite. And if you're on a tight budget, and after going wide in the opening leg of the pick six, you're looking for a potential banker, then I think that number 3, Montalina, fits that bill. It's not a one-horse race by any manner of means. The betting suggests that it's not a one-horse race. But I think that number 3, Montalina, from a good draw, the Vaughan Marshall stable is in terrific form. Richard Faree's in terrific form. So whatever beats Montalina in this race, I think will win it. We've got to have a measure of respect for number 8, Mears Harper, and number 9, Lady Lookalike. They're both progressive 3-year-old fillies. And then well drawn are numbers 1, Knockout, and number 2, Little Miss Pink. They have lesser chances, along with number 5, Cathera. That cannot be safely ignored. But Montalina, for me, is a clear-cut first choice. It is a fillies and mares handicap, so we've got to bear that in mind. It's never easy to win handicaps. But I do think that the form lines of Montalina are very strong. She has a victory over Mears Harper in the bank, and she could confirm that form with Mears Harper. And Lady Lookalike is progressive, but was also behind Montalina on the 10th of October. So, so there's no reason to believe that Montalina won't win this race if everything goes her way.
And then a horse like number 2, Little Miss Pink. This is a horse who's starting to regain the form, finished 4th behind Double Grand Slam last time out, so just ahead of number 8, Mears Harper. I just thought there could be some each way valued around 8 and 10 to 1.
Absolutely, and a must, for exactors and swingers and trifectas and quartets. She's well drawn. Stable companion, obviously, to Montalina. Bernard Fader hopefully will fulfill his engagements. He's been missing in action the last couple of meetings, but of course he's riding Questioning, with whom he has a particularly good relationship in the Cape Classic later in the card. So we look forward to welcoming Bernard Fader back, and there may not be that much to choose between the two stablemates, Little Miss Pink and Montalina. But I think Montalina is probably the more progressive, and maybe just have the edge over Little Miss Pink. But you certainly would be surprised if Vaughan Marshall ran 1-2 in the race.
Now we move on to race number 6, which is the Need for Speed, and over 1,000 meters. Certainly the name fits the bill. And this is where Graham Hawkins gets into full action when it comes to the exotics. Jackpot 2 and race number 6, you can't go out because you've elected to go with the field.
Yeah, it's very competitive. It's over 1,000 meters, as you've mentioned. We've got the one scratching number 3, Mojo Man. I would leave that in the perm just in case the favourite wins, so you can double up. There's 10 runners in the Need for Speed sprint. My marginal first choice is the 8 to 1 chance, number 7, Blue Holly. She's the bottom weight. She's unbeaten over track and trip from 2 outings. Raymond Danielson and Glenn Cotson teamed up to win a feature race last week, so they're in pretty decent form. Blue Holly, though, hasn't raced since May, so you can't be overly confident, but I do think that at 8 to 1, bottom weight, unbeaten course and distance, she's got to have a chance. Yamadori for Justin Snaith and Grant Van Niekerk has drawn pole position. Many of these horses may not be at their absolute best over 1,000 meters. Many of them might need 12, 50, 1,400 meters to be at their absolute best. But Mer Capitano and Captain Arrow, they've proven their worth over 1,000 meters. The interesting runner here, Sheldon, is number 2, the Abdicator. We all got carried away when he won his debut back in January, and he won it well going start to finish, and then he was a firm favourite to win on Met Day and fluffed his lines behind Raskova, and his form subsequent to that has been moderate, to say the least. But he comes back in as a gelding. He's been gelded. They always thought highly of him, so who knows? The gelding could suddenly turn the form of number 2, the Abdicator, around. So future variety, possibly a little sharp, but has a chance. Jewel Cat, it's that kind of a race. So as you've mentioned, my suggested bet is Jackpot 2, and I'm going the field in the opening leg. I do have a banker in the last leg. So the Need for Speed sprint, my value choice would be number 7, Blue Holly, but I do think it is a field race.
There we go, field race for race number 6. Number 7, Blue Holly, would be the value selection. And who knows, maybe number 2, the Abdicator, can bounce back, so maybe take some swingers and exactors. Numbers 2, the Abdicator, along with number 7, Blue Holly. As we jump into the Cape Classic, grade 3 over the 1,400 meter trip for 3-year-olds, no allowances, 1,400 meters, number 1, Green with Envy. 3 runs, 2 victories, and a 5th is your 22 to 10 favourite. Number 3, Questioning, is 9 to 2, and then 6 to 1, Zil Morris and Better the Rest. Now, Graham, Green with Envy, I remember calling his first race, very impressive. The second run, his first run at Durbanville in the Cape. He also came from a country mile back. Unfortunately, I missed his last run over the mile. What did you make of that run over the 1,600-meter trip?
It was terribly disappointing. At no stage did it look as if it's going to pick it up. 100 meters, he was shooting down to the ground. He was far back, which is his customary way of racing. So that in the early stages wasn't of particular concern. But he absolutely never picked it up at any stage in the race. Now, again, I mentioned the 5 minutes is a very Thursday middle of speed that you can a little bit that could be in his favour. But quite what you expect being Green with Envy, I'm not sure. Of course, it's a big weekend. Countrywide for the 3-year-olds, so we don't know the outcome. The quality and the race in Johannesburg seems a lot stronger than what we're seeing here in the Cape Classic as we begin the road to the Guineas in December. But Green with Envy may be worth another chance. You can't ignore him completely. I mentioned questioning and Bernard Faydurb earlier. Bernard Faydurb has ridden him twice for 2 wins, and questioning is progressive. Has to go onto the short list. My top choice in each way play in the race would be number 5, Zil Maurice. He was beaten by My Golly Molly in the Langeman in heavy going in winter. But I liked Zil Maurice's first run as a gelding when he ran on strongly to finish second to Cafe Culture. So I'm going with number 5, Zil Maurice, but you've got to go a little wide in this race. My Golly Molly won the Langeman as a 2-year-old, beating amongst others Snow Pilot, who also makes his seasonal rear appearance. He's the son of Snow Dance. He looks as if he will mature well, and he could be better than what he's shown to date. To a lesser extent, Greeting My Master, if only because Richard Faree is riding it. So it's a tough little race because there's no standouts here, Sheldon. Zil Maurice would be my hesitant first choice. But again, we've got to go wide here. So in my jackpot 2, I've got field in the first leg, wide in the second leg, very much narrow in the third and fourth legs. But I think Zil Maurice will give us a good run for our money, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Green with Envy bounce back, or even questioning coming home lonely.
Okay, Graham, if you wouldn't mind just going back to Green with Envy. There was just a little bit of a technical hitch there. So if we can go back to number 1, Green with Envy. Just touch on that last run. You said it was quite disappointing.
Yeah, it was a disappointing run. I was actually I went to see Brett, but he was far back as he was always in his first 2 starts. But that customary finishing burst just was not forthcoming. He didn't really at any stage pick it up, and he's clearly better than that. But quite what you expect from Green with Envy, I'm not sure.
Let's move on to race number 8, which is over the 1,400-meter distance. And when we step into the territories of this race, talking about territories, number 4 is enemy territory. So that one beating Little Miss Pink last time out. And then number 7, Distant Winter. Now this daughter of What a Winter, from day dot, she's shown a lot of ability.
She has. I've made this an absolute match. This is where Hirkomi Boki runs. So obviously we really hope that she runs tomorrow off the back of a Rugby World Cup victory by the Springboks. So she might be the topical tip and the popular choice amongst the sentimental punters in the 8th race. But I'm making it a match between numbers 4, Enemy Territory, and number 7, Distant Winter. And these are the only 2 that I'm including into my jackpot play. Distant Winter, short-priced favourite, looks perhaps an obvious banker, but I have healthy respect for Enemy Territory. She's 10 kilograms better off at weight for age with Distant Winter, and she's no slouch. She's a lightly raced 4-year-old daughter of Canford Cliffs. As you say, she's won her only start over the course and distance. She gets 3.5 kilograms from Distant Winter. She should be conceding 7 kilograms to Distant Winter at weight for age. But Distant Winter is a high-class filly, and we've seen Candice Bass-Robinson starting to take the wraps off her promising 2-year-olds of last season and stepping them into the 3-year-old careers with success. So I wouldn't be surprised to see number 7, Distant Winter, win this and win this well. But I do have healthy respect for number 4, Enemy Territory at the weights, and I think she could be the one to press Distant Winter all the way to the line. For trifectas and quartets, numbers 2, Hirkomi Boki, number 3, Gimme the Waltz, and number 5, Red Sash. But I make it a match race between Enemy Territory and Distant Winter.
On to race number 9, which brings down the curtain at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, 1,400 meters the trip. And if you're going into the exotics in race number 9, Graham Hawkins has made number 6, Gallop Dream, one of the bankers and better bets on the card. And why not, Graham, after running second to Green with Envy last time out?
Yeah, and he was heavily backed to beat Green with Envy on that occasion. He shortened it from 8-1 to 7-2. He's a likely raced 3-year-old son of Vercingetorix. Eric Sounds rates him highly. Carries only 53.5, gets the services of Muzi Yeni. Now, Richard Free does seem to have the upper hand in terms of quality of rides at Hollywoodbets Durbanville on Sunday, but Muzi Yeni will be keen to get on that plane with the winner under his belt. I do think Gallop Dream is progressive. There's no such thing as a one-horse race in a handicap, but it could be. I'm very confident with number 6, Gallop Dream, so I've suggested him as a jackpot 2 banker, a place accumulator banker, and a pick 6 banker, if that's what you're playing. The interesting runner is number 1, Pomodoro's Jet. Hasn't raced for more than a year, but showed good form early in his career, will probably need the run. The likes of numbers 2, Sun Dazed, 3, Inamorari, and 4, Blackberry Malt. These are all capable individuals, but they've been out of form and they need to bounce back. Tamarisk Tree makes his local debut for Dean Caname, raced on the Highveld, trained by Robbie Sage. Good form, but that's how he goes in the strongest centre, which I believe is the strongest centre, certainly at this time of the year in Cape Town. Marvel William, probably the immediate danger to number 6, Gallop Dream, along with number 8, Charlie Croker. San Pedro, enterprising ride from Ashton Harris last time to win over 12.50. It's going to be a different kettle of fish from the worst of the draw over 1,400 meters. So all things being considered, Sheldon, I'm very strongly in the camp of number 6, Gallop Dream, and I make him a confident first choice.
Well, thanks very much, Graham, and for all the input you put in each and every meeting. Have a wonderful weekend. There's so much ahead, so I'll give the suggested bets. We're going to let you go, and thanks very much for the wonderful tipping and everything that you do for the racing. And enjoy the weekend, and hopefully the Bokkers do it for us.
Go Bokker!
Thanks very much to Graham Hawkins joining us on the line as we bring up the suggested bets, and I'll bring through those suggested bets for you. Let's start on the right-hand side. We'll start with the best bet, so you can make some money for that jackpot 2, where race 1, number 7, Major Apollo, is one of the best bets. Race 3, number 1, Food Ray, and race 9, number 6, Gallop Dream. So those are the 3 suggested best bets, and then Graham's gone jackpot 2. Opening leg will be the field by 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10. Penultimate leg, 4 and 7, and in the final leg, you can banker horse number 6. So thanks very much, Graham Hawkins, joining us on the line for the pre-recorded show. As I said, it's early on Saturday morning. That's why we're still looking bright and cheery. Let's see how we go with the Springboks this evening. If it is Saturday that you are watching the show, or otherwise Sunday morning, you will know the result. All to play for, and then it's time to hit the horses and hit them in a big way.